Good afternoon. I'm Jasmine Anderson. Former Congressman George Santos has just appeared in federal court in Central Islip in what may be his last hearing before his fraud trial next month. Newsday TV's Virginia Huey and Newsday Courts reporter Grant Parpan are at the courthouse now with what happened. Virginia.
Jasmine, former Congressman George Santos was here at the federal courthouse in Central Islip where the judge made several rulings on pretrial motions. And joining me now is Grant Parpan. He is Newsday's courts reporter, and you were in the courtroom. One of the pretrial motions was that made by George Santos was that he wanted a jury pool questionnaire. What was the judge's ruling and why?
The judge said there will be no questionnaire. We're looking at a traditional voir dire when jury selection starts on September 9th. She called juror questionnaires among the worst experiences she's had in 30 years on the bench. She said they're impersonal, inefficient. So what you're going to see is individual jurors questioned by the attorneys for both sides, and that's how they're going to select a jury pool for this trial.
Okay. Another matter that they discussed was a potential juror who may or may not be, a potential witness who may or may not be testifying. Can you talk about Nancy Marks?
Yeah, that was one of the more interesting and maybe surprising things that came out of today. The defense said that they intend to file a motion to compel immunity for Nancy Marks, who has not submitted any kind of cooperation agreement with the government in this case, but she has pleaded guilty. She's awaiting sentencing, and she was the campaign treasurer for Santos, and this is a campaign finance trial, is what the defense said. So it's critical for them that she be called. It is unclear whether or not the government will call her. They said they intend to call at least 36 witnesses during the course of the 3-week trial, but they did not say whether or not she would be one of them. They haven't committed to that yet. So the concern for the defense is that with no immunity in place, that she might plead the fifth, and that would hurt them from being able to wage the defense that they wish to implement during this trial. But the judge made it seem fairly clear to me that that's not something that she would necessarily entertain at this late stage. She doesn't think that the facts support that. But it is interesting to see that that's something that's still in limbo right now. Whether or not Nancy Marks, who was the treasurer for Santos and a lot of GOP campaigns in Suffolk County over the years, whether or not she'll actually testify at this trial.
Okay. They also gave us a preview of what the trial will be like. They said it would be about 3 weeks long.
Yeah, so the prosecution said that they need 3 weeks. They're going to call their witnesses, and then it gets turned over to the defense. What they're going to tell the jury is to take 4 weeks. This is going to start with opening arguments on September 16th and last about a month is what's expected at this point. The judge was very clear that she wants them to try to speed things up, try to stipulate as many witnesses as they can and present an efficient trial. They're concerned about, jurors checking out and, being a little too bored if they call that many witnesses. They want a crisp, efficient trial, and that was made clear by the judge here today.
And the prosecutors also talked about how they were concerned that the defense had not handed over all the discovery.
Yeah, so the discovery deadline is still looming. They've turned over very little discovery. And so the prosecution said, hey, we want to know, are we about to get bombarded? Defense attorneys said that, look, we don't intend to ambush the prosecution here. We've been searching for more discovery, and we just don't have that much to turn over. We're not anticipating turning over much more. But there is some concerns from the prosecution that Santos' side has just not really participated in discovery to the extent that they feel they should have at this point.
Okay, thank you very much, Grant. Now, jury selection is slated to begin on September 9th. The judge said that 800 jurors were originally summoned to report here on September 9th, but now that number is down to 340 because they were given very excused. For now, from Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
Thank you, Virginia and Grant. Just to recap, if you're just joining us now, former Congressman George Santos appeared before a federal judge in Central Islip. The judge ruled on several requests in Santos's fraud case, including a jury pool questionnaire in which the judge ruled no on the defense's request ahead of his trial set for next month. Santos has pleaded not guilty to multiple charges, including fraud, theft of public funds, and money laundering. Now, you can read more about Santos's fraud case. Just click Get More below the News 8 TV video box on our homepage.